Okay, when we're talking about creating a file, usually we create the files on your computer using a program like Dreamweaver, or you could even use Notepad. So I have a couple of samples. Here's a horizontal nav bar that I did. There's an index file and the index.css, the CSS file for the page. Now if I double click this, it's going to open up in my browser, and this is the file. All it is the nav bar. So it's a basic of a start of a page. If we click Control U, here's the markup for the page, and you can see, as you can see, is a doc type opening HTML and head element right here, and then there's a body element, and this is the content that's shown on the page, just the navigation itself. Inside the head section is a link to the index.css file, and if we click on that, this is the CSS that makes the file work. That's the file that makes it visually pleasing, I guess. Yeah, that controls all the presentation of the page. So the rollovers and the hover effect and so forth, that's all in the CSS file. So where do we go from here? So we created a file, and here it is, the index.html, and we have a CSS file for it as well. These two files need to be together in order to look the way it's supposed to in the browser, like this right here. If this file weren't uploaded with the index file, you wouldn't see the hover effect. All you'd see was just a list of links on the page. So the CSS file really makes the presentation of the page come alive. So what we're going to talk about is you have files that you created on your computer. You're storing an archive file on your computer. To make the page work online, you have to upload the file to an online source, like the AI server. What I'm going to do is bring this down out of view for a second, get this here. Here's FileZilla. This is a free application that allows you to post the files from your computer to an online source. Now I have a whole bunch of accounts here. I'm going to demonstrate on my own site right here. So I defined it with a username. Username is MyNetFX. The host is mynetfx.netfirms.com. Netfirms is where I'm hosting the page, or the site rather. Your host is aisites.com. So that would be AI sites for you. That would be aisites.com, and that would be a username. The login type is normal. You have a username and you have a password. That's all you really need to gain access to the FTP portion to your website online. FTP is the protocol to post all the files up online, just as HTTP is the protocol to view the pages online. One is hypertext transfer protocol, one is file transfer protocol. Two different ways of uploading or viewing files online. That's the difference between the two. So when we use Dreamweaver or Notepad to create an HTML file, you save it on your computer, keep one copy on your computer, and then you upload it onto the website on the server. That way other people can see it. If you just kept it on your computer, obviously you're the only one who can look at it. So we need a program to upload it to the server that's on, the server that you're hosting your site on. Dreamweaver has this functionality built into it. You could use Dreamweaver to do this. You could log into your account on your student web account and upload the files via that process. Or you could use a third-party program like FileZilla or Cyberduck to upload the files. It all depends on what you feel comfortable doing. All three ways of doing it serve the same purpose, and they achieve the same goal. I like using FileZilla. You may like using Dreamweaver. Someone else may like using the student web portal. Either way is fine. The whole point is to get your files up online. This demonstration here is using FileZilla simply because that's what I use. So this is my account. If I click connect here, I'm going to get into my account. These are the folders that I see when I log into the account. You will also have a public HTML folder. The reason public HTML should not be part of the web address, in fact, we can go back over here. If I just click home, there's my home button. This is my web address, www.mynetfx.com. Notice that the public HTML is not part of that address. If I double click and get inside there, these are where all the files reside. In fact, here's the index page. That's the file that we're actually looking up online right here. So I don't include the public.html portion in the address. I just have mynetfx.com. You would just have your username.anisites.com, whatever folder structure you have. The reason it's not including this is considered the root folder. It's kind of like having drive C on your computer. It's a base where to start. That's where all the files are located in. To look for a file, you would open up drive C, but you would just look for the file itself. Consider public HTML the same sort of thing. You don't include that as part of the address because this is the root. It's the base. It's where you always start. That's why that shouldn't be included in the URL. It's just your username.asites.com and then / and then whatever folders you have inside of here. Now I have other folders here. I have video, I have secure, I have scripts, projects, and so forth. If I wanted a file inside of here, in fact, one example is data right here, because I have student files inside of here. I could put the data folder, if I can spell it correctly, / let's do April. And actually, I'm not sure what file is in there. Is there an F? Okay, it's a test. Okay, so test.html. Notice that I'm not putting the public HTML, I'm just putting the folder structures that are there. Now if I hit enter, that's the file that I put up there. That's an example of an absolute link to this file, the test.html file, in the April folder, which is inside the data folder, which is on my site. Your link would be your username.aisites.com / and then whatever folder structures you have, and then the file names themselves. That's how you list the URL for others to go see the files that are on your site. To upload the files, you need some type of program, an FTP program, whether it be in Dreamweaver, FileZilla, or whatever, to put the files up on your site. If I have other files like this navigation file, I can put it inside. In fact, I can drag these two into this folder here, which is up on my site. I just uploaded these two files. That's all it took. I just clicked and dragged. Now they're up on the site. If I go back to my browser here, and instead of test, if I typed in index, I'll be able to see the file that I just uploaded, which is right there. Click enter, and there it is. That's the file that I just uploaded. It's now in my site. It's now online. Everyone else can see it if they type in this web address. So that's how you upload files. That's the whole concept of saving files. You're asked someone asked how you could save, find a file that you actually worked on and saved on your computer. Well, I always have one copy on my computer, one copy up online, obviously, so other people can see it. If I have to edit any of the files, I'm always going to edit the one on my computer and then just re-upload it onto the website. That's the process. That way I always keep a working copy on my computer just in case something has to be changed or modified. The online file is just a current working file itself. I can also save 2 or 3 versions of it. So if I have to go back, if I don't like what I did online, I can go back to the original one. I can just upload it again, replace it, and you're back to the original version. So that's file structure, how to work uploading, saving files on your page, and viewing them, including the full address. So hopefully that will explain a few things. And we can go on from there. If you have any questions, just send me an email or post in the classroom.